I've been on their high school varsity team. Okay, so that's a good high percentage, and others might be at a better, at a school that have maybe better programs, and maybe got to play JV or freshman even in 8th, 9th grade. This thing that you guys are doing, fellas, is coming hard and heavy. And the one thing, the word that came out a few times in what the coach was saying is happiness. You got to figure out what makes you happy. Don't listen to other people tell you what they don't know, but they think they know, okay? Ask questions. It's hard. You're 14 years old, 15 years old maybe. It's hard to dial the phone and ask a Division I coach, questions. Write them down. Talk to mom and dad, okay? But get the answers that you need. And it could be just simple stuff. It could be like, what does that school have to offer? How far away is it? How big is it? All those things that all the coaches talk about. But whether it's good or bad in our sport, guys, the recruiting process starts earlier in our sport than any. Don't get upset if you're not one of those guys who commits in 9th grade. You certainly don't need to be. There's so many opportunities out there, and I think the guys who get, who wait a little bit longer, get to see a little bit more out there, and you find out that they're, as Coach was just talking about, they find out that there's so many other opportunities. So, just a quick recap what all the coaches talked about. One, be a good person. Okay, be a good person. Okay, as you know, we just won a national championship on Monday. I'm not quite sure if we had the 45. If our 45 matched up to somebody else's 45, if ours in each spot would be considered better. Okay? There's a lot of luck involved in winning a national championship. There's a lot of hard work involved. But I will tell you that our guys pulled together, just like the guys on all these teams. They pull together and they make a decision on whether they want to work at this thing or they want to be, quitters or guys that moan or guys that complain. Okay? So the more positive attitude you can have, be a good person, as Coach Brown talked about, stay out of trouble. Okay? Does everybody know what a seller's market means in real estate? Seller's market means that there's a lot of people buying for one house that might be on the market. And it's the same in lacrosse right now. It's a seller's market. If all the kids who play want to go to Division I or play at these 15 or 20 great schools, all right, there's more players than we can all fit. So how do you become that guy? You become that guy by being a great person. You become that guy by being the best student you can. You become that guy, as Coach Orson was talking about, by doing other things. And the more you can stay away from peer pressure, the more that your friends tell you about the things that are cool, that you go, I don't know if that's cool or not. The more that you can stay away from those kinds of things, the more that you can stay off of social media with negative stuff, the better off you're going to be. And because that's what, ultimately, if we get down to 2 guys, and there's plenty of them out there that are the same ability, we're going to take the good guy. We're going to take the good student. We're going to take that guy that the high school principal says, this is the one you want. And so, you guys are in a great sport. There's a lot of great coaches out there. The beauty of lacrosse is most of the schools, you can look at all these schools that these guys are from, and all of them more, they're all great places. They're all great schools. You're going to have fun. You're going to remember those 4 years. People often talk about college being the best 4 years of your life. Well, to enhance that, college lacrosse makes it even better. So, whether you win a national championship or not, and I'm not downgrading that, it's a wonderful experience, whether you do it or not, really isn't the issue. The issue is, do you do your best to put yourself in position to go to a great college, get a great education, and meet friends that you're going to have for the rest of your life. And if you're willing to do that, then when that phone call comes to go out and goof off, and you haven't done your wall ball that day, or you're running that day, or you're lifting that day, you got to have courage. You've got to be the one who stands up. And you'll be amazed, fellas, when you all have those guys that are around you that are trying to pull you down. They already know that you're at a higher level than they are. And so there's 2 kinds of people in the world when they admire somebody. The ones that admire that person and try to be like them, so they work really hard to be like that person, or the ones who say, I don't want to work that hard. I'll try to pull that guy down to my level. Drugs, alcohol, getting in trouble, not going to class, not doing the right thing, okay? So this is all about our game representing some, real life. And watching you guys out there this morning, as Coach Brown said, I was blown away. And I was just blown away by, there was some missed balls, there was some bad defensive plays, there were some shots that could have been saved, there were some shots that shouldn't have been taken. But the effort and the energy that's out there, and the willingness very quickly for a bunch of guys who don't know each other for the most case, to play the game the way you are, shows that you're a great group of guys. So keep that up, keep being energized, all right? Don't let people talk you out of the game. So anything negative, forget about it. Just keep being positive, and it's going to be great for you. Any questions? I know Coach said, any questions on the process? Okay. Get in touch with people. Yeah, go ahead.
Where would you find the information for a coach to get in touch?
It's very easy nowadays. Okay. If you go to Lax Power. Everybody been on Lax Power Forum or laxpower.com? It's got a listing of every school in the country, club, Division I, Division II, Division III. You can click on that school, it drives you directly to their website, okay? And then, or you just, any school is, in general, the name of the school, .edu, okay? Google it, lacrosse coach, so-and-so university. It'll drive you right there. Get that. And when you write these letters, fellas, I know some of you guys are savvy, but I can tell you, when I get a letter that says, Dear Coach Tierney, I've always wanted to play for you at UCLA. You didn't do your homework, fellas. I'm not the coach at UCLA. Or, Dear Coach Jones, I've always wanted to play for you at Denver. Coach Jones doesn't coach here at Denver. So do your homework. You guys are pretty savvy at that. Take your time on that stuff. We know that you're writing to more than one coach, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay? The sooner you can get it to a workable number, that's a good thing. And just like we're not going to say, oh, we're only going to look at 2 or 3 kids for those spots. We're going to look at a lot of kids. You have the right to look at a lot of schools. But once you get narrowed down, ask the questions, go see the schools if you can, and work real hard. If you're a recruit, if you're really good, the coaches are going to find you like Coach said earlier. Okay? Anything else?
So, when can you start, calling and sending emails, like letters to coaches?
10 years ago.
Okay.
When you were 4. I mean, honestly, I get calls from 7th grade kids sometimes. I don't know how they do it. I know that when I was in senior in high school, I had a hard enough time calling up a girl for a date. All right, much less calling a college coach, asking them if, how to go about being seen by them. Okay? The one thing I will tell you, you guys are all doing it, so I'm kind of speaking to the choir here, is if you have some schools you're interested in, find out what school that coach is going to. All right? I love when I get these letters that tell me where they're all going to be. Each one of our staffs only has 3 or 4 guys that we can go to. There are thousands of lacrosse events. If you're serious about a school, get to either to that school's prospect camp like this, or find out where those coaches are going, and try to get there if you can.
So I know you guys can't call us till junior year, but if we call you, can you call us back?
No.
As many times?
No. In fact, until junior year, if you miss a coach and if you leave a message, that's one of the frustrations. We can't call you back. We can't even write you back. All right, so you've got to be proactive, as Coach Brown talked about before. And I will tell you guys, we're perfectly, I don't know about the other coaches, I shouldn't speak for them, we're perfectly willing, especially for 9th graders, perfectly willing to get a phone call from mom or dad to express that initial interest. But one of the shaky things that goes on in this is, moms and dads really love their children. Okay? When Dad tells me that you were an all-star as a 6-year-old, it doesn't do much for me. It tells me that Dad's going to be the guy who's going to be running this thing. You've got to do this. You've got to do this. Nobody's going to hurt you out there. Get on the phone, have a sheet of questions, ask the questions, okay? Tell the coach where you're going to be, ask how you can get to see that school, and believe me, you'll get a lot of good answers. If you're a really good player, They'll contact your high school coach, they'll contact your club coach, and they'll say to that coach, hey, could you have Johnny give me a call? And if you're hearing that, that means there's genuine interest.
Little trick with that, guys, is that, we practice here from 4 to 6, okay, 4 to 7 sometimes, okay? And that's probably right when guys are getting out of school. So we miss a lot of phone calls while we're at practice. Shoot a text, this is so-and-so, this is my number, coach, I missed you, I will be calling you back at this time tomorrow. That stuff helps, right? That stuff helps. You don't have the cell phone, you just have an office number, shoot an email, okay? Say the same exact thing. That way we can punch your name in and we can put your information into our phones and we can see that if it is you that is calling, we can either answer it or pick it up and say, hey, can you call me back in a little bit when I'm going to be free.
Somebody else have a question?
Like, when you say, like, kids are committed, like, actually, how does that happen?
Well, it happens exactly as I just said. It might happen where one of these coaches sees you guys here this weekend. They can't call you up. They really like you. They'll contact your club coach, contact your high school coach, and they'll say, it's kind of a roundabout way of them calling you. They'll say, Coach Jones, we'd like to talk to Johnny. Have Johnny call me. Instead of me just dial on the phone, but that's how the NCAA works. So if you get one of those things, then the kids who are committing, they're calling, and the coach is saying, hey, we really saw you play at Ascension Camp, really like the way you play, when else are you playing? And then, or how'd you like to come and visit our school? Those kinds of things. And then what happens in our world, guys, is everybody's probably a little different, but there's somewhere between 10 and 12 or 13 spots each year for recruiting players, and so we fill those up. There are schools out there that are done with their 2017s by now. Some are done with their 2018s by now. You're not going to go to those schools, so you move on from those. But you find out that if there's a school that you like and they like you and the interest keeps going, they'll find ways to contact you. And then when they see you and maybe get you at their school for a visit, they might say, hey, we like you, if you like us, we'd like you to commit. We're going to give you one of our 3 attack spots for the 2019 class or whatever it is. And then you say yes or no. And as Coach Brown alluded to before, Bells, that doesn't mean it's a done deal. Okay, we always tell recruits, they have the right to withdraw their commitment to us, okay, if they find out that we're not doing the right thing. We're breaking NCAA rules. Our team all of a sudden starts to not do well. You're reading in the paper that there are things happening with our team that don't sound good to you. All right? And we have the right to negate that commitment if we find out all of a sudden your grades are going down. You got in trouble, with drugs or alcohol. You got some sort of social trouble or trouble with the police or something. Done. There's nothing signed until November of your senior year, and that's when it becomes official. So for you young guys, you got a long time to be good boys before that thing gets signed, which is a good thing. Anybody else?
Can a college coach approach you at one of these camps?
It's an interesting thing. If they're working the camp, which all our coaches are here, okay, they can talk to you. All right, what you've got to be really careful of is recruiting talk. All right, there's a fine line there. Where they can't talk recruiting talk to you at all is, you're going to a tournament out there. And all of a sudden, because we see it all the time. You see it in parking lots, we see it all the time. All of a sudden, everybody doesn't have a personal relationship with every recruit out there. So there are certain coaches out there who are well known to bend the rules a little bit. Okay, you're better off. If that does happen to you, explaining the rules to the college coach, say, Coach, I know you can't talk to me here, but I'd love to hear from you or something like that. We have what's called a bump rule. If one of those tournaments, we bump into you, or we're allowed to say hello and say hi to your parents, and give me a call or something like that. That's fine, but you can't have recruiting talk out and about off campus until really later on for you guys.
Club schools, Division III schools, I think, right? They can do
right.
whatever they want, so if Division III institution that wants to come up and talk to you, he can grab you at any point, they don't hunt during the day. Same thing with public.
It's a good point. There are different rules for different divisions, so no reading dealing with.
All right, guys, what we're gonna do now, okay, we're gonna hustle up, okay, we're gonna go back out, we'll grab our equipment, okay? 1 and 2 are back on the field on Barton, okay? 3 is back over with Gwent. We're gonna play another round of games for this next 2 hours like we did this morning, okay? And then just to look ahead, after that, we'll come back in here and we're gonna do some work inside, okay? Some strength and conditioning talk with you guys. And if there's any other questions that pop up from now until then, we'll get back together when we're back in here and we can answer those questions, okay? This evening, everybody's together on Barton and we're gonna put you through a true college practice, okay? Any questions? All right, boys, let's go.
Let's have fun, man.